Welcome into the Hillbilly Express. We've got Mr. Kent Smearden from Airtabs on the phone with us. Kent, how the world are you doing tonight?
Very well. How are you?
Fighting snow up here, but it's getting better, slowly but
Good.
surely.
Glad to hear. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Well, the reason I wanted to have you on the show is I wanted to talk about Airtabs. Can you give us a little bit of brief information about the company, how it got started, and how it was formed, and where you guys are, and how long you've been in business?
Sure, be happy to. First of all, the company's called AeroServe Technologies. We make a product called Airtab. We've been in business about 18 years. Airtabs have been on the market that long. Airtabs are a wishbone-shaped vortex generator that was developed by an American race car designer many years ago. And he found that introducing an array of vortices behind a truck or a large uh, highway vehicle, a bus or RV or something, reduced that slight vacuum at the back of the truck. And that vacuum, called base pressure drag, is drag. There's no other word for it, and it costs you fuel. And he found that by introducing vortexes around the perimeter at the back end, reduced that vacuum and saved fuel. And that's basically how we got into the business.
One thing that I find very interesting about Airtabs in having conversation with you is the fact that the design that is being used is essentially the same design that it's been throughout the whole process of you guys being in business. So
Well,
what? I'm sorry.
sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I mean the inventor, an aerodynamicist in his own right, uh, scaled the air tab to be um, optimally sized and shaped for a fluid, the density of air, and moving at around 60 to 70 miles an hour. In other words, normal highway speeds. He found that anything larger or anything smaller didn't improve the performance of the product, and so he struck on this particular size. So we get problems with people who want to test the technology, and for instance, they want to put smaller air tabs on, say, a scale model truck in a wind tunnel. It just won't work because you're using something smaller on the same density fluid, and they don't. What we say in the business is that air tabs do not scale well. They don't work better if you make them bigger or smaller. So we've stuck to this one size throughout our history.
So exactly how does this Airtabs exactly work? So say for an example, I'm going to have a video up here in a second showing the wind as they come off the Airtabs. Can you kind of explain exactly what's going on as a truck is going down the road and it is going 60, 70 mile an hour into the wind?
Well, the air tab has been proven to be probably one of the lowest parasitic drag devices on the market. In order to generate these vortices, there's two of them that come off each air tab. There's two ridges. The air tab, the air enters the wide end of the device, and it spins over that ridge in two different directions. And you can get about 75 of them on the back end of a trailer, and so the combination of all these, 150 odd vortices combines to make almost like a virtual tail cone behind the truck. And this increases the pressure at the back doors of the vehicle, and that increase in pressure means you're using less fuel. If I can go on a bit, there's other attributes to the AirTab that we really didn't realize when we started marketing them, and that is all the drivers that have used these AirTabs have commented almost immediately on the added stability that the AirTabs bring to their ride. We didn't know this when they first came on the market, but we sure found out in a hurry that every single driver comments almost immediately on the fact that their truck is much more stable, especially in gusty crosswinds. And if you think about it, that is a clear safety related benefit that not many other aerodynamic devices out there can claim. A stabler ride means there's less driver fatigue, there's less wear and tear on some of the systems of the truck, notably tires, steering gear. Um, there's also been very clear evidence of less spray in rain, so that makes lane changes on interstates much safer because the drivers can see better because the airflow tends to keep the spray closer to the sides of the vehicle. So there are other sort of intangible benefits to the AirTab besides just the fuel savings, like I've talked about, the stability, the safety, the visibility. Also, they're maintenance free. You know, once you stick them on, there they are, and they work whether the driver wants them to or not. And unless you hit them with something, they last the life of the vehicle. There's no real life cycle costs involved in the product.
Well, what really amazed me was I went and watched because there is a ton of YouTube videos out there of guys
Yeah,
using air tabs and testing them. One thing that
yeah.
would absolutely amaze me was the amount of spray off of a vehicle, that how much it reduced that spray. That that is definitely an added safety feature, along with, as you were talking about, with the wind stability, especially like if you're going to be out in Wyoming or out west
Yes.
anywhere where the wind is horrible. I mean, I can see a big improvement right there.
Well, you get the benefit of the fuel reduction and you don't add to the surface area of the vehicle. I mean, we all know about skirts, and there's other aerodynamic devices out there that smoothen the airflow when the wind is close to right on the nose or perhaps right on the tail. But when they're stuck on a serious crosswind, these devices just add more surface area, and I'll bet they're a handful for the drivers to handle. And the problem is when these devices are certified, they're not tested for perhaps handling problems that are handed off to the driver to solve. There's another story that I might add about the visibility we touched on. We
Okay.
had one driver at the show said that, and he had a complete kit of AirTabs. He had them on his tractor and his trailer, which is the optimum fitment. He said that before he had AirTabs, if it was raining heavily, he could not see a car until it was almost beside his tractor, his cab. With AirTabs, he says now he can see the car, that same car, about 2 or 3 car lengths behind his trailer. So that kind of visibility improvement really makes the driver's job probably a lot easier.
So, if somebody that is listening is interested in buying a set of these, where is the best place for them to buy them? Do you have a list of dealers or warehousers, or how is the best way to buy a set of these?
Well, our North American distributor, his name's Jack. He's based in Loveland, Colorado. He handles sales in Canada and the United States. And his website is www.buyairtab.com. That's one word, buyairtab.com. It'll take you to Jack's website, and it's pretty straightforward after that. Or you can call his number, order them by phone. Our website for technical advice and testimonials, etc., is www.airtab.com. Again, one word, AIRTAB. And we're going to be at the Mid-America Truck Show in March.
That's the perfect segue. What do you guys have going on at Mid America this year? What booth are you going to be at, and so forth?
Yeah, as usual, we're in the west wing of the Fairgrounds buildings, and booth number is 68232. We've been in the same booth for years, and we have the usual show special going on while supplies last. Jack told me to say that. 80 white AirTabs or 80 black AirTabs for 190 cash or 200 credit card while supplies last. So that's drop by and say hi. Tell us your story.
That's absolutely awesome. And I also want to mention, I know that St. Christopher's Fund is one of the charities that is near and dear to AirTab's heart. I did also want to mention to make sure that that there is going to be a benefit breakfast for St. Christopher's Fund this year in the parking lot the first day of the show. So if you're going to be out there, make sure you stop by and show them the support that AirTab has for years.
That's great. Thank you.
All right.
We
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just on the mention of the subject of charities, we also support the Special Olympics program in the state of Wisconsin, and we've been a member of Women in Trucking for many years now. Anyways,
Awesome.
but drop by the booth and say hello.
Absolutely. Well, we're up against the time here. I appreciate your time, Kent, and we will catch you later on. You stay safe, stay warm wherever you're at.
All right, thank you so much, Joe.
You're listening to the Hillbilly Express. We'll be back here in a minute.